So far in the recording, I started out with telling you how my experience has been like transferring from a face-to-face communication to recording myself this way. I told you about my ums, I told you about my having a different vibe, and I also told you about how I overcame that by actually visualizing it. Now it's a lot easier to visualize it when it's not video, alright? So you probably realized by now that this is an audio recording. So we're going to take baby steps, one step at a time. So this is an instructional audio, actually something that you can listen to easily. You can download it hopefully, and then listen to it several times. I've also covered why I foresee that if we develop this skill, it could be something that's profitable and beneficial for us in the future. And now I'm going to move on to giving you a little bit of a tip. Okay, so this is going to be a technical tip. So there are times when you might just want to deliver this as an audio. So what I'm going to do this time around, because this is an instructional thing and I want to start off making sure that you get all the points. So what I've decided to do with this lesson is to actually do it in audio recording and then add into it slides that illustrate my point. I would probably even transcribe what I'm saying and type it out for you. So apart from making direct videos, this is something else that you could get creative on and decide to do. I don't know whether this would actually take you more time or less time, but for me, my idea, my purpose of doing all this is to make sure that whatever I tell you, the instructions are very clear. And that is why I've decided to do it in an audio, as that I make into a video by including slides and illustrations and stuff like that. But this is also something that you might want to do yourself, or you just put into consideration in the back of your mind. And if you decide to do something like this, I'm going to introduce you to a nifty little software that I found very useful. It's called Audacity. A-U-D-A-C-I-T-Y, Audacity. Now, Audacity is a recording software. And you can basically edit out all your ums and ahs and long pauses where you don't know what to say. You could also delete out or cut out parts that sound repetitive and that does not flow well or does not seem congruent with the rest of the stuff that you want to say later on. Okay, this way you don't have to like record the whole thing all over again. You could just edit out that few 5 or 10 seconds that you didn't quite like. If you look up the dictionary, the word audacity also has another meaning that does not mean audio recording software. Okay, when you use Audacity, you might want to export your audio files as an MP3. And you would have to go to File, then there's a drop down menu, and then you're going to click Export. And you're going to have to look for a selection that says Export as MP3. The software will then ask you to go on the internet and get a kind of plug-in so that you're able to export it as an MP3. Okay? So how's everybody doing so far? Alright, we're about 18 minutes into the recording, and if any of you are wondering that I did all of this in one sitting, that I was just sitting here from like the beginning, I was just going on blah 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 up to like minute 18, no, I was not, okay? I wish I was that good, I wish I was that fluent and that congruent, but I was using Audacity. So what I did was I recorded parts of what I wanted to say one part at a time. I took breaks in between, and since this is actually my first time, I took time off to review the tracks, edit out those pauses and ums and ums and stuff that didn't really flow with the rest. So you guys are doing good so far. Next, I'm gonna talk about you. Okay, so you're probably looking at my tracks and going like, wow, can I actually speak for 20 minutes straight or 30 minutes straight? Right, good question. You don't actually have to do that. So next I'm going to talk to you about time. Okay, time, and two things about time. One would be time management, how much time you would actually need to spend working on this project or this assignment every week. And some suggestions on how you could split up your time and manage it. And the second thing would be how long your projects are going to be. They're definitely not going to be like 20 minutes, 30 minutes long. So your first few assignments, we're not going to try anything too complex. Just try to put it within 5 minutes. Okay? And if you go a little bit beyond, like 6 minutes, that should be tops. We're not even trying to make it that complicated. When we first start off, it's going to be a little bit difficult. It's going to take us a little bit more time. But we have to go beyond our comfort zone. We're going to learn new skills. And before long, we could be making videos that are 10, 20, 30 minutes. We could be presenting really awesome content within 30 minutes, and that will be fine. So every master was once a disaster. Don't forget that. I don't want you to be overwhelmed too much in the beginning. So try to keep your videos about 5 minutes. So now let's go to time management. So you spend about 2 hours anyway in class every week. So what's going to happen is you're still going to spend about the same amount of time, except that you would have to manage it a little bit differently. I would foresee that you would take about 1 hour tops to listen to the instructions each week and get started on doing your 5-minute video or your 5-minute presentation. Okay, the second hour you might do things like watch your friends' videos or prepare your content. So overall, I do not expect you to actually spend more than 2 hours a week. So the only difference is that instead of just putting your butt down on a seat right in front of me for 2 hours, what's going to happen is that you need to manage your time a little bit better. So that brings me to my next lesson, which is I'm going to talk more about the structure of this program and how the benefits that you're going to get out of it. So this is Miss Mark ending my first audio lesson.